Yes, sir. Giddy up, boogie up. Let's go racing, boys and girls. Happy Monday. Good to see you. We're late. A little later than normal. Probably a little deja vu. They just saw me over on Gators Breakdown. Mama, we made it. On primetime, the original, the OG Gators Breakdown. Had us on the show. Good time. Me and Swolder, of course. I think they're still rocking and rolling over there right now. So, had to come for the squad. Good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of High Top Sports. Happy to have all of you here. Good to see you on this beautiful Monday afternoon. Still July, still no football, but that doesn't mean we can't talk. That doesn't mean we can't discuss how we're feeling like we have been. We're in our feels as of lately, but I did have a call-in show yesterday, and it was fantastic. It was eye-opening, learned lots, gave me some ideas to talk about today that I wanted to discuss. One being, does DJ Lagway have to play? And we were just talking on Dave's show, right? The prediction of where we think Billy has to go to preserve his job and, how many wins. And look, I think, some would argue 6, some would argue 8. It's a weird number to go after. I think he has a little bit of leeway because of the schedule. If it's 6 without this schedule, if it's 6 with last year's schedule, you got to think no way. But then you've got 6 with this schedule, and if we see a little bit of razzle and dazzle from DJ Lagway, changes a lot. Makes the whole thing interesting. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. The SEC top 10. Never really thought about it. Lists are going to be coming out. A few pre-lists have come out. Obviously, the list, the important list, and I say important with quotations, will come out after SEC Media Days. And I made the joke. It wasn't a joke. I made the assessment last year that they based their rankings off the interviews. And we had Jason Marshall saying we're going to shock the world. They didn't feel confident in that, and I think they got it right. I can't remember where they had us finishing, but I think they got it right. I don't think they were wrong. They were close. So, that's where that is. So it'll be interesting to see, but we have a pre-ranking on that. And then what the title is, a recruit drops the truth bomb, which we've been beaten on the head. I had a hypothesis about this. I spoke to somebody who's close to the program. He's in our Discord, Delta Gator. Kind of asked him, like, hey, look, what's the vibe? What is the noise going on right now? And something I think about too with these recruits that people are overlooking is these kids aren't kids anymore. They've got agents. They're making deals. They're making money. They know and hear everything. They're more dialed in, and they've always been dialed in, but it's even more dialed in now because it's a business decision. It's always affected their future. I just feel like it's impacting much more than what it has before, and they're navigating much different than they have, and I think that causes for coaches to have to constantly evolve and adapt, and that's kind of where we're at right now with recruiting. So we'll talk about that, but good to see all of you here. 120 strong already. 160 strong. I love it. You guys are incredible. I do love the continuous support. I always wonder if I turn this camera on with how much negativity is going on in the world. Like, I don't want to listen to this douche. I mean, you never know. You never know. I watched the Kentucky game again yesterday and threw up my mouth. That is the one game that I just, we talk about, well, we would have done this against the Mizzou and Arkansas game. We're looking at 7-5. And you're right. But that Kentucky game literally just knocked your nuts off with how atrocious it was. It was bad. It was grossly bad. And we got torched by LSU, but it felt like for a minute there we were kind of in it. And then Jaden Daniels just literally ran away with it. Literally and figuratively, just ran away with it. But it felt like we had a chance. For a second, it felt like it. We never had a chance with the accountant Ray Davis and the Blue Boys. No, nada. we felt behind the 8 ball the whole time, and that just sucks. Talk about Kentucky, Look, I don't mean to be negative. I just read the comment. That's on me. We're gonna be good. And we're not being negative. We're just talking. We're loving it. 18 months celebrated by Ivy Max says, win or lose, Gators by 1 million. You know what I'm saying? I should have let off with that. I should have let off that way. I should have let off. Between the hedges, Kentucky and Arkansas. Arkansas was ugly, too. You're right. We didn't lose by much, so I guess it didn't feel as ugly, but in all reality, where we lose to a Sam Pittman, jobs in the line, I think they had 2, maybe 3 wins at the time. You're right. Pretty ugly, too. Thanks, Between the Hedges. Appreciate it. Loved it. Gator Power says, I just joined, but we should be better than 6 teams in the SEC. Look, we're going to talk about it. It's interesting to look at the top 10. Forewarning, we're not in it. In the pre-win. This isn't my list. Just reading, and this is just a list on Twitter, but I think a lot of people are considering Florida not in the top 10, and it's like, that's crazy when you hear that, but then you look at the teams, and it's like, shit. Shit. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Back up, Terry. You know what I'm saying? They might be onto something. I don't know. But let's talk about the truth bomb, which isn't really a truth bomb. Keith Neighbor dropped it with his graphic today, and the reason I wanted to bring it up because I talked about it with Delta on Saturday when I messaged him. I was kind of my thought process that, it's a wait and see. You've heard a lot of guys say it, and Malik Autry kind of drops the bombshell. Defensive lineman he's currently committed to Auburn. Obviously, we know we are in desperate need in the trenches. No offensive lineman commit, by the way. I may need to start something. You know how people will do trends? There's a guy I follow, Benchwarmers, or I think their name is Benchwarmers on TikTok. The Red Sox are on a heater for winning games right now, and he's running a mile for every scored run during the winning streak. He had to do like 5 miles the other day, and this guy had run about a minute. It took him like an hour and a half. But kudos to him for getting it done. Like, what if I ran something or did something every day we don't get an offensive line commit? I may, not shave my beard, cut something crazy. Think about it, sleep on it. Let's talk about it. But just so we can just have some fun, and maybe we'll get Rob Sale's attention. You know what I mean? I'm like, hey, I crush a beer every day until Rob Sale sees this and lands an offensive lineman. Could you imagine? I'm just crushing beers every day until Twitter tagging Rob Sale and the boys until they get it done. Oh man, good stuff. I need friends. Anyways. So yeah, Malik Autry says Coach Billy Napier is working hard to turn it around. If they can win some of those games, the whole staff there knows that's what I'm waiting on. And unfortunately, that seems to be where we're at. I was just on Gator Breakdown show. He literally went through the entire list, the entire position group for 2024 recruiting. And the light's very dim. Guys that we were leading the way on, Christian Gass, somebody who felt like it was a lock, not in his top 3. Jarquez Carter, defensive lineman from Newberry, felt like it was a lock. We had Cam Parker on. He talked about it. Like, that guy's going to be more than likely, feels really good to be a Gator. We're not in his top 4. We got 2 safeties. Ben Hanks, or he's a cornerback. We were leading the way. We're no longer leading the way. It's just we're losing every which way you want to look right now. And the gap's getting bigger. So it's frustrating. I'm not being negative. I'm just simply giving you the juice. So that's where things are at. That's what Malik said, and I think I think we're all in the same boat. We want to see what's going to happen and how it's going to play out. Here's something else that I wanted to get to dive into. We talked about the blue chip stock a little bit, the blue chip ratio that's going on. The article came out like a week ago, and it's interesting because we're pretty high up there with 63% of the team of what's been on the football field is blue chip ratio, and you see what's ahead of us. Keep in mind, Michigan last year, the national champions, were 54% of blue chip ratio. So what this list is the top 16 teams that historically have the best odds to win a national championship. Florida's in that list, meaning the talent is on the football field. Now, what I also looked at is who we have to go through to get there, who's ahead of us. Texas at 72, Georgia at 80, and LSU at 70. So let's say, okay, those 3 games, we chalk it up if we're playing by numbers here. I know it doesn't mean everything. Clearly, Michigan with 54 won the whole thing last year. They wouldn't be in this list right now, right? Miami right there at 61. Lead you to believe that game's going to be a nail-biter. And I think, they've recruited very well over the last few years and haven't really produced on the field like they probably should have. But that game's going to be no slouch by any stretch of the imagination. I think Florida State sits at like 49%. But again, they put a lot of work into the transfer portal. I don't think that's taken this into consideration. There is a second list that brings the portal into consideration, but this is just the recruiting talent that's been brought in. So, this looks good. This looks exciting. What I like to do is kind of compare and contrast. Okay, this number is here. So we think we should be X. Well, how does that compare to previous years, Sheldon? Well, how does that compare to Florida last year or the year before that? I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but this number is lower than the last 2 years of blue chip stock on the football field. I think it was 66 last year or 67 the year before that. We know how those years planned out. Now, I think the one biggest caveat, in my opinion, is quarterback play. I think is Graham Mertz coming in, being his second year, I think plays a huge factor into that. But I just saw this, and I always like to kind of think of things to talk about, and I thought it was interesting to look at of the talent we have. And I think we and again, with the Collins show yesterday, that was the biggest thing that people felt good about is we feel really confident in the talent that is coming in on top of the surrounding talent. That's where I really feel good about is the portal guys that were brought in that is not being contributed to this list, by the way. The seniority that is being brought in to surround the blue chips, that's where you got to feel good. That's where you got to feel exciting. You're going to have the other side that's going to claim, look, the coaching, the ability to step on somebody's throat. I just said that on Dave's show of like, look, can Billy step on the throat and really hammer down on this? Because, look, his question, the expectation of where Florida should be of 7-5, 8-4, etc. We talk about it all off season. Florida's 2 plays away from being 7-5 last year. The Arkansas game and the Mizzou game. And you're right. And so if that was the way the season ended, where would our expectations be this year? I would think it's 9-3 would be more of a ceiling. 10-2 would be a legitimate ceiling for a lot of people, and 7-5 would be the new floor. 6-6 is probably the floor for a lot of people, right? If the last season goes differently, I think that changes. But what I'm hoping and what I think we should see is there's going to be a lot of one-score games this year. I think that's what this tells you here with what we're going up against 10% and the talent-wise. You've seen the schedule. So that's where Billy has to get better. He has to be able to have that killer mentality. And again, that's something we've questioned, myself has questioned, and get it done when it matters most. And we even talked about that last night. I think that was something that Billy was bragged upon when he came into this. He was like 20-3 in one-score games before last season. We know how that played out for us. So Josh Pate doesn't even have us in his top 15 in the next 3 years. For SEC or overall or for recruiting? SEC? I need to know. I need to know. Let's see here. Read the chat for just a minute. Experience blue chip is the difference. That's a good point, Roger Smith. That would be another metric I would like to see, right? Again, because we had a lot of probably blue chip stock last year, but it was very young blue chip stock. That's a very fair point. 66%, I think it was, but it was extremely young. That was on the football field. We also didn't utilize it a lot last year, too. You got to think about the A. Mizels, the Andy Jeans. Those are 4-star guys that never saw the football field. Even Trevor Etienne, 4-star running back. Saw the field, probably not as much as he should. And, I got to give my guy Brendan a shout-out. Somebody I talk to constantly, his perspective on things, his thought process, sent me this long email of looking at things differently. And I like what he said about Trevor Etienne. We always say, look, the guy didn't pass block. And when there's film to prove that there's film to support that. Okay, the guy doesn't pass block. That doesn't argue the fact that the guy can't run and doesn't have elite speed and can't catch the ball in the backfield and do something crazy. Montrell, great at blocking. He brings up a good point. We bring Montrell in. What does he do? Goes out for a pass. He's not even blocking. These are, like, when you put it out, it's like, yeah, those are good points. Okay, Trevor Etienne can't run or block, but guess what? He's going to go to Georgia, be the number 1 guy, and probably eat and be a second-round draft pick because he's running. Now, what he does in the NFL, besides the point, but they've recruited well on the offensive line. He's not going there. He doesn't need to be able to block it, but he's going to be successful. And I'm not giving him an excuse, but it's a matter of fact. And that was a good point of him that he pointed out of like, look, we had the talent. We just weren't necessarily utilizing it the right way. Why is Montrell the blocking back? Why is he running out for a pass? I would get frustrated. I see Montrell run for a pass. Just like, guy's got butterfingers for hands. What are we doing? Trevor at times always seemed like the more elusive back, better catching back at times, and can make explosive plays happen. I love Montrell. Excited to see what he's able to do. North and South guy all day long. Gives me 3-4 yards every single time. Use him for that. So, let's move on to the next question here. I knew the ETN thing was going to fire some people up. Again, it was a perspective of Brennan that I had not thought of, okay, that I thought was interesting. Let's not get nasty in the comments, boys. Let's not get nasty in the comments. Be sure to smash the like button, though, while you're here. Let's talk about it. let's dive into it before we get into the last little bit here of the top 10 on this beautiful Monday afternoon. Does DJ have to play? It was brought up, I think, by Terrell on, that is your biggest selling piece. He's the car in the showroom. You show up to the the dealership. He's the car that everyone looks at, which you kind of reel people in to say, hey, why you want to be here. And, Cody started to bring up a point of like, I don't want to see him thrown into the wolves. I don't want to, that hurt his progress. And I've been clamoring for that too. I don't want to see it either. But desperate times call for desperate measures. We, the fans, are going to call for him very quickly. When you're in this kind of atmosphere, in this particular situation, again, 6-6 can save your job on how you manage it. Whether it's playing DJ Lagway enough to give enough juice to the world. Like, they went 6-6. Schedule was a gauntlet, but man, there is something in that DJ Lagway. There is something in that LJ McCray. There is something in that Miles Graham. There is a lot of talent that is on that Gator team, and we saw a lot of progress. They just got beat by teams that were a little bit further along. Not what I want to hear, but that to me is how you save it. And we've been saying we want to see the DJs like we saw Tebow and Leak. I think that has to be the game plan. You can't go into the season of, it can't be like a Max Brown situation where like we see him maybe at Samford. We see him maybe if we go up by 20 against a UCF or maybe a Mississippi State. He has to be packaged in, I believe. I believe this season has to be game planned of he is expected to come in. Both guys, and I mean by DJ and Graham, needs to be in the rhythm of, hey, in this situation, expect to come out. Expect to go, hey, if we get into 3rd and 2, DJ Lagway comes in because we have the ultimate package. We have a foolproof plan on 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3 and less. DJ's coming in. We've got the perfect triple option, whether he's going to run, pass, or do a front flip over the line, that nobody's going to be able to stop. I don't care how predictable it looks. I don't care what it looks like. This is going to be what we run with, and we're going to really show the talent of DJ Lagway. And this play is going to be executed perfectly because we game plan for it all offseason, and we're ready for this moment. That's how I think DJ Lagway has to play. And then you slowly can work him in through games where you've got a little bit of a bigger of a lead. I'm not a fan of giving him full drives. And I think that's where people are going to be expected. Like, hey, give him a full drive, then go back. No, you can't do that. He can't do that. He's got to be incorporated in for certain parts of the game, at certain aspects of the game. We're on the 10-yard line, right? Maybe the 5-yard, maybe the 7-yard line, a little red zone action. He expands the playbook more than Graham Mertz does. And that's where I think I want to see him more so. Give me your thoughts, though. I think this discussion's open for a lot. I'm going to try to see if Allie will come on Wednesday. We'll probably pick her brain a little bit about it. Lagway throws a touchdown to Mertz. Could you see one of those? Remember the play with was it? I think it was Johnny, or maybe it was Baker. It was either Manziel or Baker, where they go to the sideline and they're arguing. I mean, it happens all the time, but I remember with one of those two guys. That'd be perfect. You send both guys out there, nobody knows what's going on, right? It might be a little too much. It might be overkill. But Sean says, I think Mertz runs more this year. I think he's going to have to really open up the playbook. I think that was something we talked about with Bud Davis, about where that playbook. Look, DJ is the perfect combo of Anthony and Mertz, right? Where Anthony allowed for you to do one part of the playbook really well. Mertz allows for you to do the other playbook very well. DJ is that compromise of he allows you to use your playbook very well. So we'll see here. Super chat, $5. Man, McKean always throwing $5, man. Love this guy. Only want to see DJ if there's a package for him. Yeah, I think that's it, right? Like, I want him to be as comfortable as possible. I feel like Max was thrown into situations, Max Brown last year, where it was like, we need you to go figure it out. That's not good for anybody, and I don't think that would be good for DJ Lagway. It has to be, he has to come in, and Bud Davis can pull up one of his Excel sheets of the success rate, and I just want to see the brightest screen possible across the board of like, this play is a for sure fit, right? Like, it's like the tush push for the Eagles. It's a first down. You know what I mean? Like, it's whether you're going to get 3 yards or 7 yards, we're getting a first down. It's going to happen. So get over it. I think it got stopped once last year. That's what the package needs to be for DJ Lagway. Figure it out what it is. I don't know what it is. You have out all season. Figure it out, Billy. That's why I get paid the big bucks. All right? Just gave you the thought. So think about it. Brian Fisher says $2. Recruiting hurt by false reports of Billy Napier on hot seat. For sure. $10. Look at the super chats flowing in tonight, boys. Love you guys. Gator One Media. Fan character dressed as a cheerleader jumping in the air. Can't see it, but I love it. DJ Jump Pass. I love that. I love that. He's absolutely on the hot seat. It's a do or die this year. Totally agree. We can start 3-0 and the noise goes away. And I agree with that too. If things can flip. Here's my description of the Florida Gator season in a nutshell. And you guys know I'm a gambling degenerate, so that's where we're headed here, okay? Think about myself or think about yourself sitting at the blackjack table and you have gone on the worst run in history of runs. And everyone around you is getting good cards, but you're losing by a card here. You get 17, dealer gets 18, you get 19, dealer shows a 20, you get 20, dealer hits blackjack. It's just nothing's going your way. You're down to your last $100, and anybody and everybody has been counting the cards, and they can see the deck's hot. The deck being hot doesn't always mean that you're guaranteed to win, just means your odds have increased. Anybody that plays blackjack knows when the deck gets hot, this is your time to win, to capitalize on your losses. You put a little bit more down, all right? So if we're betting $20 a hand, we're throwing in 50. We're doubling up. So there goes half our pot right there, okay? We're $50 in. And it happens every single time, boys. You're sitting there with a 50, you get a 2 and a 9. You're sitting on 11, dealer showing 5. You know where I'm going next. You're doubling down. You're all in. So that's where Florida is right now. We got a 9 and a 2 with a face card down because you don't get a face card up. If you do, don't talk to me. Face card down, all in, right? Dealer showing 5. You're sitting there. You're excited. You feel good. But it deep down, like kind of right here in this little pit area, right a little bit lower underneath your ball sack, the dealer showing 5, you're saying 6 in your head. And I say, I hope they don't get a 6 out loud because I can't hang on to that kind of pressure. Knowing that it could happen. And knowing that there's six sixes on the table, but there's one more in there and it's sitting right there. That's where Florida sits right now. Okay? That's where Florida sits right now. All in, 11, double down. The excitement is there, but it could be effed in one flip of a card. I hope that helps make sense. I hope that clarifies where we're at. If anybody who's been gambling knows you're sitting on the edge of your seat because you're almost up but not down. You're up because you want to scream because you knew you were right. You knew this was the right time, but you're also getting up because you could be getting up to walk away. Right? That's where we're at. That's where things are at right now for the Florida Gators, unfortunately, boys. But it's a fun place to be in a weird way. I love that feeling. It's the high that we chase. You can't live there, and right now we're living in it. We're sitting there waiting for the next guy to take the hit because we're in the middle of July. Excellent analogy. Thanks, Nathan. I appreciate that. I thought about it all day. I thought about it all day. Oh, man. The fan base gets more done by the minute. I mean, yeah, look, you kind of get in your own head, so that everyone's a little frustrated. I get it. But let's move on. Let's talk about this this list here, boys. Right? Top 10. For those that are listening, let's go through it here. Georgia at number 1. Ole Miss at number 2. Dicey. Texas at 3. Alabama at 4. No hates there. No. Don't have an issue with it. You can flop around maybe one or two of them, but don't mind it. Tennessee at 5, a little high in my opinion. I think Mizzou should be going ahead of them. I think LSU could be above Tennessee. I'm a bigger fan of Nussmeier, and they show more promise. Tennessee in front of Oklahoma, I'm okay with. So I would swap those around. But that second tier, don't hate it. Really don't. Tennessee might be a little bit high. You could argue with Tennessee a little bit up there. But That's probably me being biased. So that second tier is good. Here's where we get dicey, boys. Here's where we get dicey. Reason one, I don't hate this list. We're finally in front of Auburn. My ghost beef with Auburn, they've heard me. And for that, I thank you. So I'm good. Kentucky, I mean, had our number, bringing in a 5-star and Brock. Kind of been building a little bit of, building some things together. To put A&M in front of us, though, that's where you lose me. I think Florida still cracks top 10. I can't put A&M in front of you. I know people are higher on 5-star Connor Wingman. They didn't show me enough last year. They're in complete revamp of this year, redoing the whole team. Everything's changed. They're bringing in a secondary defense of Florida. I'm not sold on A&M. All the talent that they recruited, not all of it, but a good majority of it is moved on from that top class, right? They are bringing in talent. I think if you look at that list that I had just a moment ago, are they up there? They are at 79%. There's another team that I actually looked over. So there's 4 teams that are ahead of us. So 80% of the blue chip stock. So they are bringing in a lot of talent back. I get that. And I think that's why they are being favored higher than Florida at the moment. That talent, in my opinion, is still young, though. Even though I know someone is coming out from that 2022 class. Again, I've looked at that class. About 5 of the top guys are gone. More of it is left too. They still have had very healthy recruiting classes. I just think there's going to be some ups and downs, and I think Florida is above. I think Kentucky, Florida, then A&M. So I'm still going to put Florida in the top 10. But look, man, I mean, as much as we want to scratch and claw and be pissed about it, it's hard to argue. I did see someone say Mizzou, and I saw, I got my buddy at the Oklahoma channel. He was kind of, I guess, not ragging. I think he said 9-3 for Mizzou, possibly 8-4. Mizzou's schedule's pretty cake. He had Mizzou losing to A&M, which I don't believe they will, to Bama. I think it's going to be closer than people think. And then he had him losing to Oklahoma, which they are playing in Mizzou. I don't think they lose to Mizzou. I think Mizzou is going to be a tough place to play. I think Mizzou has an opportunity to really do some nasty things this year because of their schedule is redonkulously easy. It is great. Like those are their 3 hardest games. It's OU, Bama, and A&M. And like I said, I don't feel like any of those 3 teams are outright just that much better than them. You know what I mean? And you get one of those teams at home. They played very well last year. Very well. $5 from Chi-Town says Pete doesn't have Florida top 15 program overall for the next 3 years. Sent again since you missed the first super chat. Oh shit, my bad, bro. Well, thanks for 2 super chats. The other one was $2. That's why I missed it. No, I'm just kidding. Sorry, man. I apologize for missing it. I didn't mean to. You know I love you, Chi-Town. Thanks, man, for your comments and your love. 318 strong, boys and girls. Be sure to smash the like button and subscribe. While we're here, let's talk about it before we can move on. Thank you to our sponsors today. High Top Sports is sponsored by BetterHelp. This year's gone by so quickly. What's something you're proud of in 2024 so far? What's something you still want to accomplish this year? When life goes by so fast, it's important to take a moment to celebrate your wins, make adjustments for the rest of the year. Therapy can help you take stock of your progress and set achievable goals for the next 6 months. Love BetterHelp. Think it's a fantastic program. Allows for you to be able to have someone to talk to speak to. It is convenient because it is online, affordable. You take a little quiz, they set you with a therapist based on your questions. If you don't like them, you change them. It's always been kind of, I think, the hurdle with therapy is, it's just the convenience of it. It's the cost of it. It seems daunting. It seems intimidating. It's easy squeeze. You cancel whenever you want. No big deal. Think of something, if you are considering it, thinking about it, this is the time to try it because you get a little extra discount on there. When you go, take a moment and you visit betterhelp.com/hightop, you get 10% off your first month. You can't beat it. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/hightop. So, go check them out, boys and girls. Thank you to them for always supporting our show. Chi-Town says $2, all love. Hope you had a great 4th of July. I did. I had a fantastic 4th of July. So, let's see what the comments are saying about this. I missed making a comment. I missed that. Shelton, 300 viewers. We rocking, baby. We rock and rolling. 320 strong on a Monday. You got to love it. The fan base is incredible. I can't ask for anyone better. Vanderbilt's better than Georgia. I mean, you got an argument there, Bichet. You got an argument there. Who should Florida try to hire after Billy's gone this year? I can't even get into this conversation right now. I can't do that right now. It's too soon. It's too soon. Let me on the show. Daniel, you call on the show and you cause mayhem. Daniel, you could have called in yesterday. You didn't want to. You're scared. How much you need for me to come on the show, Sean? How much you need for me to come on? How much do I need? I mean, we have a call-in show. Like people always want to ask to be on the show. We have a call-in show where you guys are literally like can call in for free. You just gotta wait in line. Like and we sit there for like an hour. I let you guys just ramble. I mean, who's doing it? You know what I mean? And I hear everybody out. They won't cut anybody off unless you're just spewing nonsense. Not even that. I still let it happen. So we'll see. We will see. Pate throwing bows, though. So Pate doesn't have Florida top 15 program overall for the next 3 years. I mean, look, it's not a bold shot. I mean, it hasn't been the top 15 for the last 3 years. So if history shows, it hasn't given you a reason to believe that it will be. They have their little numbers, their computers for their reason to believe that. And, it's where it's at. Dabo to UF? Crazy. Bechet says, "Shout out with that one-on-one on NCAA football." What's up with it? I mean, that's going to be fun. That's going to get us through July, is NCAA football. I can't wait, man. I really can't. Saw the gameplay version today. That was fun to... Do you want to... Should we pull that up? I've only saw bits and pieces of it. Should we do a little reaction if you guys haven't seen it yet? We can pull it up before I close this down in the show with us watching the live gameplay together. No big deal. Can I use High Top code when I buy this Blue Chew? Bro, I would love to be sponsored by Blue Chew, just simply by the fact it would be so fun to talk about Chew and do it. You know what I mean? Like, I remember when Blue Chew kind of hit the market. I was like, man, what a product to be sponsored by. Chew and do it. Blue Chew. Hey, Shelton, by the way, friends call me T-Dub or Dub. Travis Wilson. Okay. I mean, I'm on Xbox, but I think we can still crossplay. You know what I'm saying? Hit it. Are you doing a league for NCAA? Yeah, people keep asking about that. I want to. I heard that there isn't crossplay, which is concerning because I only have Xbox. I think that's dumb. I don't know if that hurts or helps. I think it maybe clean things up a little bit, probably. I feel bad because some people are going to be left out. But yeah, I think we have to do a league. I think I'd be crazy. It feels like a lot of organizations, so I've got to figure that out. But we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Sean can get the hands in NCAA. What's up, Scott? I thought we were on the same. I thought we were boys, bro. Winner's point of view. You know what I'm saying? There's no need to attack me like that. My super chat I missed. No way, Jesse. It did. Shit, my bad, bro. $5. First off, NCAA 25 is coming soon. Second off, 15-0 United wins. Go Gators. Let's go, Jesse. My bad, bro. The super chats are flowing. Did I miss another one here? No, that's all I missed. Okay, that's all I got. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it, man. Sorry about that. Appreciate your love and support as always. Chew and do it. Yeah, right? It's just funny as hell, man. Well, I'm on Xbox, so let's get it. There we go. So there you go, Nathaniel. You're good to go. But yeah, well, that comes out next week. So here's the thing. Next week comes out SEC Media Day. So we're probably going to have like a Thursday. I'm thinking we have a date day because I think it comes out Thursday, right? What's the calendar look like? I thought it was Sunday, but I'm a moron. It does not come out on Sunday. It, in fact, comes out on, is it Tuesday? I may be able to do a late night stream on Tuesday. But Thursday, definitely got to do some games. And then the following Thursday, like the 20-something, that's when Jake Crane and I are going to throw down. So I messaged him today, asked if he would come on for the first one, but he's going to be at SEC Media Days. Like, it must be nice. But we will play. I will be doing a full, I just want to be immersed into the moment and experience with everybody. So we will see. We will see. Last question here, and then we'll rock and roll. How much of a difference does Ron Robert makes? Talking with Will, Miles, watching interviews of Armstrong talk about Ron Roberts, talking with Jay Crane about Ron Roberts, I think he plays a huge factor. Well, we talked about Will Miles on the show. Again, his defense, what he was trying to instill last year, a lot of aggressiveness, which was great. Ron Roberts had that same style, was able to adjust it and adapt it, made changes with it. On his way to Auburn, we saw the success that he had at Auburn with, you got to think, not as much talent as what Florida has. he excites me a lot. I don't think Armstrong carries an ego that I'm the DC that other DCs may struggle with. I know people make jokes that he's the babysitter. I understand that. But, I think Austin's in a weird position in the sense that he may have been hired a year too soon, but can grow into it. I know that is also not the answer that people want to hear, but it's just the fact of the situation of what is. And he's growing into it. And I think Billy realized that and made the changes to help him grow into that position. Again, poor hire probably. Knock on Billy, but a recover on Billy as well, too. I think he's going to be a great hire, and I think it's going to be the exact touch that we need. I'm hoping so. If our defense was just 50th last year, we win 2 more games. Just think about that, guys. It's literally, it's crazy. Small stuff. Ooh, what a question. Not a great question. Great idea. Smokey Gator says, does anyone want to keep Billy because he's a good coach or only because he's tied to DJ? The reason why I don't think it's a great question because I don't think people will say he's a good coach. I think there's a great half that don't feel that he's a good coach. They'll say maybe like great recruiter, great guy, or is because he's a DJ. I think the verdict's still out on whether or not people feel that he's a good coach. So we'll see. We will see. Well, look, great Monday show. 300 strong on a Monday. You can't beat it. You guys are always incredible tuning in, showing your love and support. I always appreciate you guys coming in and hanging out with us. Wednesday, obviously, we'll have our live show. Should be a good time. We're getting through it. Then next week, SEC Media Day, obviously the game's going to drop, and I think that will just nub every feeling we have because we're going to be undefeated champs in the video game. And maybe I do like a series too where I play the season, right? Like obviously we do I'm the Florida Gators and we go through the schedule and we watch how I do. I think that'll be fun. You know what I mean? Just something different. So, I guess we can look at NCAA real quick. Yeah, whatever. What else we got going on? Let me see. Let me pull this bad boy up. About 20 minutes. I'm not gonna watch the whole thing, but I'll fire up a little bit of her. You know what I'm saying? Fire up a little bit of the juice. Already 1.5 million views, bro. People eating this thing up. Just the noises I think are gonna be incredible to watch on this. Ignore the tabs, boys. I know you guys are gonna go all rowdy about that shit. That's how it takes to work, boys. It takes to get it done around here. Poker stream?
A little talent on one side. If you follow Twitter, if you follow college football at all, you know the name Bordeaux. And on the other side, you might recognize him as one of the cover athletes of College Football 25 from the University of Michigan.
Bro, they got Donovan Edwards souped up in this
thanks
game,
for having
bro.
me on here, man. Just looking at this system right now and just being able to look at the graphics of this, it's very spot on right here. They got the Big House theme song in here, so I'm very excited to play.
Nick Mazesko here with you alongside two very important people. We've got Scott O'Gallagher. You might
It
hear
just
us refer to
feels
him
like college
as
football.
OG,
That's the exciting
and we've
part,
got
just the
Sykes,
sounds, you know?
along with us.
We don't have the smells, we get the sounds.
We're about to play Michigan brand of football, gentlemen.
Oh, we're about to get the ground and pound. This is going to be terrible.
Michigan brand of football.
I'm in trouble. All right.
There it is, baby. There it is, baby. Come on, Martin.
A great ball. So you see that's our brand new revamp passing right there. That's the blue. It's a safer throw that he made.
So I gotta be honest with you, boys. I'm an old gamer, and I know these games have evolved to where they got it's almost too intricate now. A little bit for me. I'm not complaining. I'm just giving you my thoughts and opinions about it. There's just so much going on, bros. I'm trying to play games. You know what I mean? X's and O's and just hitting somebody. But I know the game.
There's blue,
Makes it more
yellow,
realistic.
red. You know, obviously, the more that you're in the red, the more off target a throw is going to be.
And that's
Good
fair. I
throw
guess
there
it kind
for
of
Donovan.
separates that
off of
talent
like
level.
a bullseye
But
system, right?
it's not
And,
me. I
you know,
don't
Bill
play
Walsh
enough
said
to
it
be able
best
to
about
get that
every pass
tapped
being
in.
6-inch off the numbers.
I imagine you'll
So
be
we
able to turn
wanted
that
to
off.
really work off of that and get rid of the throws that might have been 20-plus yards over a head or anything random. Now, if you're hitting in the red, you're throwing it now off target. Still catchable, right? But, you know, drop chances increase and things of that nature.
Ooh, hey, boys, this graphic stuff is real. It got me looking. They got us looking to the sideline. Yeah, I like that. They got us looking to the sideline and all that.
Oh, that one's up the middle, too.
Get off me, cuz. Get off of me,
Donovan
cuz.
Edwards
I
is
don't care if
clearly
you
a
hit me
cheat
like
code
that.
in this
Get
game,
off me,
boys.
cuz. Oh, they got my boy Ben
my
Hall in the
cover.
game now. Ooh, my boy Ben Hall.
Big 3rd and 6 here for Donovan.
Gone.
Come on.
Donovan's getting to Donovan.
Bro, look like 8P back in the day, bro. Just busted through
I
coverage.
just have
Look
to
at
shout
this.
out for a second. The stick work that Mr. Donovan Edwards
Yeah,
just showed
that's
on that play.
way too much
That's part of what the gameplay is all
juice
about this year.
in that man.
Extra responsiveness, the control that you get with the ball carrier. That's a huge part of the college football experience this year.
Yep.
Donovan, how did running the football feel?
It felt like I was out there, you know what I'm saying? But for me, though, I'm able to, like, read the defense a little. I'm able to read it, like, you know what I'm saying, like how I'm playing it in a game. So the stick work was very easy to maneuver.
So here as we come to the line and Ewers is at the line, you're looking at the player reticle here, right? The right is your fatigue, stamina, and then on the left is your wear and tear. And wear and tear is basically 5 different pips. That's just showing you the body part that is hurt the most.
Sure.
That's it. So it could be an ankle, it could be an elbow, and then it will fluctuate in colors. It will go straight from, you know, green,
I like that.
yellow.
The reason I like that is because, you know, you like a Donovan Edwards, older games, especially Madden, right? Because that's kind of what we're going off of. Like you just find a cheat code and you just use and abuse them. And obviously, like they lose a little bit of wear and tear, but like getting beat up like that, it's a much different ball game. I think I like that a lot.
Orange and red. The more that these are down, the more attribute hits that
Is there a rating that affects how much the wear and tear is going to affect your player?
Absolutely. It is the toughness rating, right? So the toughness is playing into the impact of
Probably
the
more
hit.
fumbles.
We're looking at recovery. That's
Oh,
a
love
great.
that.
That's a great. Oh,
Love
gotta
that.
make a tackle there.
One of the new things that we've added to college is the pitch types. So now you basically have 3 different pitches you can do. You've got your quick pitches, strong pitches, and fake pitches. Quick pitches are basically going to be to get you out of a tight spot. The animation's going to be quick, but the ball might hang. It might not hit the pitch back perfectly in stride. But then on your strong pitches, which you're going to get by holding the pitch button, the animation might take a little bit longer, but it's going to hit the guy in stride. The ball speed's going to be quicker. And then, of course, fake pitching, that's just to rub it in your opponent's face.
It's just going to be rude when you do that.
Exactly. That's just going to be the
nasty.
taunt, basically. But, yeah, that's how we've tried to approach the option space.
I was gonna say square.
no.
Oh, jumps the route.
Sir, I'm on it. Oh, I see it.
Hey, I saw it too. He threw a little late. Bro, nobody's home.
Bordeaux, was that a covered shell?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I had cover 3 out there, and I switched it to cover 2.
Okay.
That is a major change. Adding in these coverage shells, taking the old version of what is baseline, and now instead giving you the ability to show different defenses and then disguise exactly what you're doing.
I like that.
Get
Good
it
play.
out there. Touchdown.
I need horns
Something
down.
that players used for a long time was baseline, and it was with that intent to disguise your look on defense. But now you're getting more control in that you can show, depending on the formation that you call,
do you
you
see
can show
Donovan
up to
Edwards'
5 or
ability
6
just to
different alignments in
move?
pre-play on defense. So instead of having baseline, now you have even more control than you did before by being able to say, for example, okay, I'm going to call cover 3, but I'm going to show a cover 0 blitz look to make you think I'm blitzing, but really it's just like a drop coverage. And this is something like core fans have just they've wanted this for years, so I'm so glad we were able to deliver it.
Gone. Yeah.
Get away from
Gone.
me, cuz. What's wrong with you?
Gone.
To the crib.
Get Donovan.
Gone.
Donovan, get to the house.
Nobody's home. Yep. Yep.
Donovan, connection.
Jeez, my knees. Oh, I wonder, does that come with the game, the smoke?
Say for you.
Does that come in-house?
Donovan doesn't know about all the different new celebrations that are in the game. There's over 20 new touchdown celebrations that
Yeah,
you can
there's no
choose.
shot. I'm
So
going
we're not
to
looking at
remember all
just
these
4 for
mid-game.
each direction. You have a lot
Yeah,
of
you can
different
hit the
ways to do it.
Heisman pose. You can do the salute. There's a lot there. You can rock the baby. Everything is in there.
bro. They had the Shador.
Oh, I see.
Colorado
That-
only.
that's a dot.
hilarious.
Bro.
That was an absolute dot, right? And so that's when we were talking about revamp passing. Left stick intent was there to be able to throw somebody open, layer the football. A lot have heard about us talk about that, whether it's the blog or the video deep dive, but that was priority A number one.
stadium
That was a
pulse.
great example of that right there.
Toughness ranked 16. Ooh.
Oh, that's a shot. He's going to feel that. He's going to feel that.
You like that circle.
Bordeaux, how's that spin move feeling?
I'm loving the spin move. This
Spin
is
is
the
back.
best spin
You
move.
get free
It's
smoke with
back
every
in play.
purchase.
The spin is back for sure.
Back.
Come on, bro.
Oh
Come
my
on,
there goes
gosh,
Donovan.
bro.
There goes
Bro.
Donovan.
Bro.
I mean,
He
he's
slid
putting on a
40
running
yards
clip.
to the
Bordeaux,
right,
you got to
bro.
stop something, okay?
I'm not sure what you can do to stop him, to be honest.
Yeah, literally, dude. That's ridiculous.
I mean, we're going to stack the box, but then that opens up the passing game. It's a little risky.
He would have had it
Oh,
anyway.
he stacked the box. Did we get the animation?
Love,
Good.
baby.
So Bordeaux comes out, says, I'm going to stack the box. And what does Donovan do? Play action, hits the crosser.
Trying to go.
Oh,
And
got
it
him
gets
there.
Donovan, cuts inside.
Got him, man.
Celebrate on him.
There's always like a T where a player
Only
in a
so
game.
much I can do
This is
here.
what everyone's going to use Michigan.
he's
You get
taking
going off
it
the
for
natty, you
a
expect these
He's
guys to
going
be
for it.
good.
Is he going to get a DPI?
Goodness.
Is that DPI? It's only
We'll
15
see.
now.
Montrell would move like that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Penalty hunter. Like
take
Luka
it.
in the
I'll take
playoffs.
it.
Hey, I like that. That's realistic, though.
Yep.
I like that.
It
That's
happens.
realistic.
It happens.
I'm getting nostalgic hitbacks with the run back to the line. Like that hits that nostalgia taste bud.
Yeah, especially when you talk about tempo and you know, it just really brings a whole nother life to it. The
We were watching
atmosphere,
the
the
other guy,
play, the
Bador or
sense of
whatever.
urgency.
He
everything,
plays
everything
like
This
comes
is
in.
the
game.
turbo hurry up mode, so I should get to hike it even quicker.
So you're using the turbo right
I
now.
am.
He plays
using
like a
the turbo.
gamer, I guess is what I'm trying to get at.
And so you can see on the D line right there, because Bordeaux was using turbo tempo and he snapped the ball quickly, the defense was just a hair late getting off the ball.
Hey,
Maybe.
he moving it, though. I ain't going to lie.
And so that play, you could see field general activated to where Bordeaux could see that the outside corners were
coming.
blitzing on the
Yep,
play.
yep.
But that is not a guarantee, and it's only because his quarterback is maintained to his composure and
That's
hasn't
pretty
fallen
cool.
behind the chain.
Hand it up the middle. Okay.
So I don't know if you guys saw that, but the corners had
Still
little
gotta
like
come back though.
alerts on their heads, and like that was like his activation of a superstar, be able to see those guys. I guess what's not guaranteed is they are blitzing, but obviously reading the play, reading the defense, typically the corners blitz on this play, and that's what he was being referred to. And I like those kind of things. Again, if you're not having to worry about activating them, and then it's just part of like certain attributes that players carry along the way, something to keep in mind of trying to
Taking myself
access
off
those
the
things.
You take yourself out of the case.
Yeah, I'm done for the day.
You did your job.
I'm done.
There's 5 seconds left and the clock's running.
Hey, we're looking at the spreadsheet here. You see the little minuses here. These are the attribute hits that
So his speed is dropped down -7, but it's still 92. His agility is -8, but it's still 92. His acceleration is -7, or is it okay? Maybe it's -7 from the 92. That would make more sense. Okay. And so yeah, I mean now the guy he's putting in is better than him based on his wear and tear. Interesting to look at.
that Donovan has taken from wear and tear throughout the game.
Donovan, who are we talking to right
This
now?
Tony Alford right here. It's my running back coach. Just let you know what I'm saying, that the guys bring it up, you know what I'm saying? Look, I don't want to brag or nothing. Hold on, T8. There your boy go right there. You know what I mean?
That looked like a little bit of the inaccurate pass because it wasn't
Yeah.
5 yards over the head of the receiver. What it was just sort of down and away, and you got to click on and make a play to make that catch.
Exactly. It was well, what we like to call internally off frame, right? So off frame down there, harder to catch, still catchable, higher chance for a drop.
With the left stick to actually make that throw. Okay, we got to see more from Bordeaux.
That's Penn State.
The attention to detail from our presentation team was second to none. You could see it. This
Look
Penn
at this.
State
This is
run out
unreal.
is unbelievable. The lighting in the tunnel, to the pom-poms in the crowd.
That's sick.
Donovan, is this pretty accurate?
Very accurate. Very accurate. And they got the We Are Penn
You can hear the
State.
We Are Penn State chant.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That's very accurate.
That's
This
pretty
is
dope.
awesome.
With their fight song.
Goodness.
I gotta turn the volume up on mine.
Oh, look at this.
Effect of how the players play.
Snow
Without
game.
question. Throwing a wet football is a fundamental component of football. And so we had to make sure that that was properly replicated.
Bro,
Oh,
he is
was that a
obliterating
motion
him.
halfback wheel?
They did that at the bowl game. I forgot what they played.
Nasty.
They did that exactly.
That's hilarious. Good stuff though. I'm loving it. It's gonna be an absolute blast. It's gonna be seconds to none. This shit. Well, boys, good stuff. I love you. Good to see you as always. Y'all be good. Y'all have yourselves a wonderful rest of your Monday with you and Tuesday, and we'll see you boys on Wednesday. See you guys in the next one. Peace and love, baby.